All right, today we're going to dive into a pretty dramatic chemical reaction. It connects something you probably have in your kitchen with something incredibly powerful, and it reveals a really surprising link between them. It sounds kind of like a riddle, doesn't it? I mean, on one hand, you have the industrial might of an entire country, and on the other, something you put in your coffee. What in the world could possibly connect those two? Well, the answer is sulfuric acid. It's the hidden thread that ties these two completely different worlds together. And the story of how it does that, well, it's pretty wild. So, believe it or not, one of the main ways economists measure a country's industrial power is by how much sulfuric acid it makes. Seriously, it's used in just about everything. Fertilizers, manufacturing, you name it. That's why they call it the king of chemicals. But its most defining feature is a little more aggressive. You see, sulfuric acid is what's known as a dehydrating agent, and it is exceptionally good at its job. It doesn't just absorb water that's nearby, it chemically rips water molecules right out of other substances. Now keep that little fact in mind as we meet our next player. And here it is, plain old table sugar. Seems harmless enough, right? But chemically speaking, it's hiding a pretty big secret right in plain sight. Just take a look at its chemical formula. You've got 12 carbon atoms, that's the C12, but then look at the rest, H22O11. Notice anything about that ratio? The hydrogen to oxygen atoms, it's 2-to-1. That is the exact same ratio as a molecule of water, H2O. And that's exactly why chemists call sugar a hydrated carbon. It's pretty much a structure of carbon atoms that has the building blocks of 11 water molecules chemically locked right onto it. So think of it as carbon that's holding onto a lot of water. So you can probably see where this is all going. We've got our super powerful dehydrating agent, and we've got our hydrated carbon. What do you think's going to happen when we introduce them to each other? All right, this is where science stops being just numbers and letters on a page and becomes a stunning and, yeah, slightly terrifying visual demonstration. The setup couldn't be simpler. You just take a beaker full of pure white sugar, and then you pour in the king of chemicals, that concentrated sulfuric acid. And it gets to work instantly. The sulfuric acid just aggressively yanks those 11 water molecules right out of the sugar structure, and it all happens so fast that it releases a ton of heat and steam. And once all that water is gone, what are you left with? Just the carbon. And you see this growing, steaming, black pillar of pure carbon rise right up out of the beaker. That sweet white powder is totally transformed into this black carbon snake. It's incredible. But as amazing as that looks, it's also a powerful, powerful warning about what this chemical can do. This whole dehydrating thing isn't just some cool lab trick. And here is the really crucial part. What sulfuric acid does to sugar, it will do to any material that's made mostly of water. And, that includes us. So this isn't just a spectacle. It's a stark visual demonstration of how incredibly dangerous this chemical is. This reaction perfectly illustrates one of the first and most important rules of lab safety. Always know what you're handling. Assuming a clear liquid is just water could have absolutely devastating consequences. It really makes you think, doesn't it? The world is just full of these ordinary things with extraordinary properties hiding just under the surface, waiting for the right reaction to come along and reveal themselves. Thanks for watching.